In a world awash in uncertainty.
Get off my back. I'm trying the best I can.
Wait, what?
Swamp Thing?
Yeah, I know Swamp Thing, but why did he not resurface?
Well, he hasn't been in movies for 20, 30 years now.
I'm pretty sure that means delicious.
Two brave heroes take on all things action. Hey guys, welcome to another edition of All Things Action. You don't want to do anything there? All right. I'm Dad, Aaron, and this is Raiden, yes. We're back for another fun-filled edition, and today is a very exciting edition of our video cast.
Not a podcast.
Right, because we're going to be talking about the upcoming
Black
movie
Panther.
Black Panther, which is going to be hitting theaters this week. We'll probably get this edited down just in time for the premiere of that, which, depending on the day it is, Thursday or Friday, however you look at it. So I thought, because Raiden, you're a young guy, right?
Yeah.
No kids of your own, no wife, right?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet, at least.
That's good. You're only 9, so that's probably a good thing. There's a lot of characters in Black Panther that you probably don't even know about. You probably know Black Panther.
Yes, and Stan Lee. He's one of the funniest people.
Yeah, well, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby are the creators of Black Panther and the characters.
How come sometimes Stan Lee's in the movie, like all the time?
Well, because they pay homage to the person who created it. And if Jack Kirby were still around, he'd probably be in the movies too, which would be kind of funny. So.
Yeah. Oh, Stan Lee, it was in Spider-Man, like every movie.
Yes. So
Of the Marvel.
I thought I'd do you a little service before we go see the movie, and I could talk to you about the characters that you're going to see in the movie, so that you kind of know about them. A lot of times these movies get rolled out, and you hear people like me, you know, who I might be sitting there, and I know the character, and I blurt it out, and the person down in front of me or behind me kind of like goes, huh? So there's still a lot of, you know, characters that not everybody knows.
Yeah.
And as I'm going through this, obviously Black Panther, the characters and the country of origin is Africa. And so a lot of the names are true African names, which is really cool. But me being a Midwestern American guy, I'm going to butcher the heck out of them. And
what does that mean?
It means that I probably will pronounce them wrong. And so when I do, fans out there that actually can pronounce these really well,
don't get on our butts.
That's right. Don't get on our butts. So, yeah, you want me to dig in and kind of talk to you about them?
Yeah.
And then we can discuss them.
Yeah.
So the first one is T'Challa, who is Black Panther.
I thought it was like T'Challa.
Yeah, T'Challa.
Okay.
T'Challa.
Okay.
He's the Black Panther. He's going to be played by Chadwick Boseman, who's a great actor. And obviously Black Panther is one of the most prominent superheroes of color. His first appearance was in Fantastic Four number 52, and that was in 1966. Why don't you let me read this?
Okay.
Jeez. Act like you don't have a screen to look at right now, right?
Okay.
Oh, okay. So, obviously, probably don't need to go into detail with the actual Black Panther character, because you're going to find out the origins of the Black Panther in the movie. They may do some changes. They already kind of have in his appearance with Captain America and Captain America Civil War. That was a pretty exciting one. So, if you haven't seen Captain America Civil War, I don't think you're going to be out any if you go see Black Panther first, but it definitely does tie in, and that cinematic universe always has some great tie-ins. So That's the first one. The next one, and the one that's kind of is Eric Killmonger, which I think is the coolest name of any any arch villain of any superhero out there. So that character is going to be played by Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan, you probably would remember him as the Human Torch in the latest Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's kind of taking on a new character, which is going to be great. He's a really good actor too. But Killmonger is a storied nemesis of Black Panther, and his origin is rooted in the storylines from Jungle Action number 6 through 8, which was published in September of 1973 to 1974, early 74. So I think it was January or February. Eric's real name is now remember, I'm going to butcher this. Njadaka, who was along with his family, native to Wakanda. And when Ulysses Claw attacked Wakanda, he pressured Njadaka's father into working for Claw. So Claw was defeated. This is all in the comics, so I'm not spoiling anything. He was defeated in the punishment. As punishment, he killed Jadaka's father, who and then Wakanda finds out that family was working together and throws him out, exiles him, where he winds up in New York City, and he changes his name to Eric Killmonger. Being above average, he studied at MIT and began forming his ways to plot his revenge on T'Challa, and that was because he exiled him. So he's got a real axe to grind. You know what I mean?
I guess.
So it'd be like a bad guy comes in, and I can help him out, the bad guy out, because I'm unhappy with what's going on. But then the bad guy loses, and the bad guy decides to kill me, and then he blames you and the rest of the family for trying to overthrow whatever we thought was wrong. And then they kick you out, and then you'd go, "Ooh, I want to get that revenge."
Yeah, well,
It's kind of a sad story, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out though. Ulysses Claw, which is played by Andy Serkis. Andy has been in at least one, I think two, Marvel movies so far. He's in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
And then I believe he's also in Captain America.
Civil War.
Civil War, yes. So
Okay.
I could be wrong on that. It's been a while since we watched that. I need to go through and watch it again. But much like Black Panther, Claw began his stories on the pages of Fantastic Four and around the same time as Black Panther. So they kind of coincide with each other. Now, his first appearance came in issue number 53 in August of 1966. If you recall, Black Panther's first issue was in Fantastic Four number 52. So this was the next issue. Claw has major beef, with many of the Marvel universe, but he's mostly identified as a villain of Black Panther. Having roots as a sort of Nazi spy that went to Wakanda to learn about the Wakandan ways and quickly finds out about its immensely rare resource, vibranium. You know vibranium. What's vibranium make? What's one of the main things? Captain America's
shield?
Yeah. Spit it out. Blurt it out.
Captain America's shield.
There you go. Excellent. So he becomes possessed, and he's very driven in being the person to stockpile and possess the rare and highly sought after metal. In the comics, Claw kills Chikata, which is T'Challa's dad. So there's actually a Black Panther before the Black Panther that's prominent in the comics and the movies. It's the dad. So he was the first Black Panther. but not before losing his hand. So in the comics, Claw loses his hand to during a battle in Wakanda. Obviously, I don't want to spoil it for you, but he does wind up having to lose a hand in one of the movies we already stated above. So if you want to know who it is that takes care of it, you'll have to watch one of those movies that we talked about just a second ago. He eventually gets a prosthetic device that can harness sound. So creating anything from the sound. Think of Green Lantern's power rings. So if Green Lantern thinks of it, it can be made. So it's kind of cool, you know.
Like if he wanted to make like a green pizza.
Yeah, but pizzas don't make sounds.
I know, but wait.
You talking about Green Lantern?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. Green Lantern can make anything green. Would
Yeah.
you eat a green pizza though?
No, I mean he could whack someone with a green pizza.
Oh my gosh. Why would you hit somebody with a pizza?
I don't know. To make them look funny.
I guess.
Oh man.
So yeah, in the comics, the prosthetic eventually finds its way and turns it kind of like it mutates him. It takes over his body, and he actually becomes this entity that's the embodiment of sound itself. So it becomes like a shockwave, you know. It's just total sound. It's interesting that they went that way, but he's also immortal in that. So he's one of those few characters, kind of like some of the other big dogs out there, that is actually unkillable. But yeah, I think they're going to be more grounded in these movies. Andy Serkis is a great actor, and he's always in motion capture stuff, so it'd be kind of nice for him not to turn into a sound wave man and just stay as a actual human being. We'll see what happens though. So it sounds like instead of making himself into that, they're going to equip him with a Wakandan mining device that emits sound waves. That's sort of like a cannon. So something different, but still kind of cool.
That's good, because if you just go based off of everything,
yeah,
it doesn't look like comics. It's not fun if you read the comics and then you put it into like a movie.
Well, and sometimes you don't want to take things too literally. Some people get turned off by that. Other people like having the source material stay true. But for the most part, usually, if someone's creating a character or pulling from a character, it's not going to be the same. Mm-hmm. I mean, what was the guy? Was it Shocker that was actually in Spider-Man Homecoming? But he was just a dude with an air cannon, right? Or an electrical cannon or something like that. So it was.
He had
it was a name
fist.
only, and then it was a fist, and he had the gauntlet, and then he had like the yellow and black arm protection. That was the only thing that made him look like Shocker from the comic books. So, so the last two Raiden, and this is where I think besides Killmonger, these two characters are going to be very interesting to see. You've got Nakia, who's going to be played by Lupita Nyong'o, I think that's the name, Nyong-O, and then Okoye, who is going to be played by Denai Gutierrez, or Guerra, I believe it is, not Gutierrez. That's more of a Spanish name.
Yeah.
She is the gal who plays Michonne from The Walking Dead. So she's.
I don't want to watch
I know you
Dead.
don't, but she's in there. So
okay.
For our fans.
But that one time when I didn't have school on Monday, I watched Talking Dead.
Talking Dead, yeah. So both of these characters are young women who are picked by their tribes to become T'Challa's wives in training. So the interesting thing about these two is what happens to both of them after they find their way, or after they find out, excuse me, that T'Challa doesn't want to follow the old ways and rejects them both as wives in training. So they used to have fixed marriages, and sometimes they had multiple wives. So these two were kind of competing for the king's or the prince's affection, and he says, I don't want to do that. I want to be my own man. I want to find my own love interest. So while Okoye stays in the comics, stays loyal to the king, Nakia, through a very long and sad process, becomes an ally to Killmonger, and like Killmonger, looks to exact revenge on the people and the king that rejected her. So you have two women that kind of start off on the same path, and then after they're rejected, one decides, that's okay, I'm going to stay loyal to you, we're going to be friends, and the other one says, I'm leaving, and I hate you, and you're gonna wish that you'd never met me. So that's
you wish you haven't ever rejected me.
Right. So those are kind of the main characters from the Black Panther. Do you have any questions that I might be able to answer? Are you looking forward to anything that might come up? Because obviously I have no idea who else is going to be in it or what else is going to happen.
I can't think of one right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, should we get into some other movie news?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So All Things Action is going to report this, and it sounds like it's just fresh off the ink blotter. Collider and other sources are reporting that Den of Thieves, the movie that just came out a few weeks ago, I haven't had time to go see it, but it looks awesome. It looks like a really big action movie. I don't know if it's awesome or not, but it looks good. It's already getting a green light for a sequel, and it sounds like the cast and the director are returning as well. So good for them that Gerard Butler and company, those guys obviously found something that's going to work pretty well. Hopefully it'll start like John Wick, where it starts small and kind of gets bigger the next time around.
What's a sequel?
Sequel means a second one.
Oh, so like Superman sequel is like Superman second, second Superman?
Sure, Man of Steel 2, yeah. So the other thing is, I didn't want to report this. I heard rumblings about this even from last episode, but I was kind of like, I don't want to flame the fire of rumors, but it sounds like this is no longer a rumor. It's a sad truth that Zack Snyder was reportedly fired from Justice League before they made the announcement that he was stepping away.
Who's Zack?
Zack Snyder's the director of Batman vs. Superman, Watchmen, Sucker Punch, all those movies that we come to enjoy, right?
Yeah.
So who knows what exactly is transpiring with that. At this point, I think what's done is done. I don't know why everybody is so hell bent on trying to uncover a truth that doesn't really need to be uncovered. But either way, obviously there were some criticisms, whether they were right or wrong, of how Zach was running things, and it just sounds like it didn't work out. So
how come he was fired?
Well, that's a great question. Warner Brothers maybe thought that things weren't going the way that they wanted. The Collider is reporting that apparently there were multiple sources saying that Zach's rough cut of the movie was unwatchable. That was the quote that they used, the word that they used, which somebody had mentioned that kind of throws up a red light when you hear multiple people say unwatchable, because usually that's not something that comes up. And I would hate to think that a Zack Snyder cut would be unwatchable. So hopefully his cut will see the light of day. Yeah, who knows? It's anyone's guess. But Super Bowl, hey, number one, high five, my man. You called it. You said that the Eagles were going to win.
Bullseye!
That's right. So, how do you feel about being a winner today?
I feel good, so I can rub it in your face.
Literally. You literally rubbed it in my face. So.
Yes, I did.
But so the other part of that too was movie trailers came out. We got to see a slew of movie trailers. Did you watch the Han Solo trailer?
No.
No, of course you didn't. So the Han Solo trailer dropped, and a couple of other ones dropped too. And then, like in true fashion, the smart people waited until the day after or the week after, so we actually got to see Tom Hardy's Venom trailer drop.
Tom Hardy's?
Yeah, Venom.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about Venom last week? And
I know.
Or the first week, and we said, "Oh, it's a wrap," and and then shortly 2 weeks after, they have a trailer come out.
Yeah.
One of the things that people were kind of up in arms about was the fact that the one thing that needed to be in the trailer wasn't in the trailer, or so they thought, which was, of course, they wanted to see Venom. They got to see a lot of Tom Hardy, Eddie Brock, that's the character, Eddie Brock, but not any Venom. Although, there's a canister of some sort of weird black ooze moving around, and some bigwig comes up to it and is kind of looking at it all sweet-like. You want to know what people are thinking that means? They think that the character that's looking over that ooze
could be Venom.
No, is the character that eventually winds up becoming Carnage. Yeah.
Personally, I don't know, because I got a Carnage toy, and it said that it was an alien, not a canister.
Right. But the alien was inside of the canister.
Okay.
The symbiote.
That
the goo.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, and if it gets attached to you, you could become Carnage. Especially you. You're a little rage monster, aren't you?
Kind of.
Yeah. So, it looks good. They can have my money. Take my money, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to take your money? Your money's my money. My money's your money, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It looked good to me. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, what movie?
You got to see the Death Wish trailer, which comes out March 2nd.
What movie are you most excited to see?
That's a great question, because there are so many flippin' movies, and I think next week, since we're heading into March, I think it would be smart for us to sit down and actually go through all of the movies that are coming out. That was the other one. Deadpool 2 trailer dropped.
Oh my gosh!
Did you see that trailer?
I haven't seen
So
it.
in the trailer, it's Cable, and Cable's talking, and he's real serious, and Josh Brolin, is doing his thing, and then they show him, and he's still got his green screen arm, so they haven't finished the post effects, and they kind of took a shot at Justice League. Do you remember what Deadpool says? He says, "Come on, guys, it's not like we're trying to erase a mustache here." Yeah. Because did you know that they erased a mustache on Superman's lip? Because the actor had to keep it for another role?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. It's not like we can erase a mustache.
Yeah, it's not like we're trying to erase a mustache. So, Ryan Reynolds is still kind of trolling DC and Warner Brothers, even after all these years after he played Green Lantern. So, Pacific Rim 2, The Uprising.
Yeah,
is,
Uprising.
It's just right around the corner, and there's already stuff out for that. Michael Fassbender is set to star in the Kung Fury feature. So, I don't know what to say. Kung Fury, you remember that? It was like a little short 30-minute thing that was just all-out action and ridiculousness.
Yeah.
You had a Thor character that was like as tall as a mountain. You had a T-Rex. You had a Hitler who was going through time. Yep, you had Hacker Man. Just crazy stuff. Well, they're making a full feature-length movie, and Michael Fassbender is going to be Kung Fury, from what it sounds like.
What does Kung Fury mean?
Kung Fury?
Yeah,
It's
is
just-
that a person?
Yeah, well, that's what they call the guy in the movie.
Okay.
It's like Kung Fu and Fury. Kung Fury. Aye.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
Kung Fury?
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, and I guess before we wrap this up, this one's kind of a long one, Bear. We've been doing a good job, but we've moved it along. I feel like this one was a good one. We're returning to form, right?
Yep.
Yeah. What is tomorrow?
Valentine's Day!
Well, hold up your prop. You were so adamant about holding that up. So, yeah. Hearts, kisses, smooches, Valentine's Day cards, all that good jazz, right?
Yeah, and you can't really see it, but it's a little hot.
Yeah, I bet they can see it. Yeah.
Maybe if they look a little close.
Okay. Well, we can always zoom in on it.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. So, Bear, anything else you want to talk about?
Well, we already talked a little bit about Uprising.
Yeah. So let's plan on next week. Number one, we're gonna have a little episode in between kind of thing. It's gonna be like a special edition. Let's call it special edition.
Yeah.
So Samaya had a sleepover this weekend.
Yep.
And the girls thought they were going to get the best of us. Samaya started playing our little show here, All Things Action, on the TV. And she thought, oh, I'm going to roast Dad and Raiden so hard. We're going to sit here and make fun of them. And it turns out that I believe the friends actually really enjoyed it, and so they wanted to do something of their own. And so that's what they did, and we recorded it all. It's about like 20 minutes of them playing Would You Rather. So if you ever were curious of what a couple of 13-year-olds and a 12-year-old think of going through their minds and they play Would You Rather, it's something. I don't know if you'd call it art. I don't know if you'd call it a masterpiece.
I would call it a disaster.
Disaster. So, yeah. It's something, though. If you want to give it a watch, we'd appreciate it. If not, no big deal. But we'll be back next week. And, yeah, let's plan on doing a upcoming movies for the year. And then we'll talk about which ones we're really excited about and which ones we really could care less about. We'll stick to the action genre just because that's where we're at. We're going to stay in our lane, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, before we leave, remember, you can look us up on Facebook. I hope everybody's subscribed to the Facebook page, All Things Action Videocast. So type that one in. It's there. Also, you're probably watching this on YouTube because anybody who is on my Facebook page or the All Things Action Facebook page gets directed to this. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. We always like those likes. And yeah, you can always get a hold of us on email. I believe it's just allthingsaction@gmail.com. And besides that, I don't think there's anything else to be said. We appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next week. Hasta luego. Hasta mañana.
What does that mean?
I don't know. We're going to find out. Once we find out, though, we're going to rule the world.
All right.
All right, tell these people goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.